Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Claudia, international makeup artist, and today I'm gonna show you how to achieve this nude makeup with glowing skin, glossy lips and matte eyes. As usual, I start on a clean canvas, and it's very important for you to clean your skin before applying any makeup, and I'm also gonna use this toner in order to balance it out. This is a trick that I'm always using in order to achieve glowing skin, but only in the key areas where I want to. So I'm gonna start by using this brightening CC serum, which is a highlighting primer. And I'm applying this on the highest points of the face, that means highest points of the cheekbones, above the brow, underneath the brow, on the nose bridge and a little bit on the chin as well. And now, in order for your skin to look glowy but not greasy, because it's a very big difference between the two, you have to use a blurring or mattifying primer on the center of the face. And of course, don't forget to hydrate your lips. Now I'm using one of my favorite lip masks. This is the Laneige one. Even if I'm going for glowing skin, for foundation I chose the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, which is not necessarily a dewy foundation, because I want to keep the glow only on the key areas that I mentioned before. This has a medium coverage and a skin-like finish, and it's also pretty long-lasting. And the other thing that I like about this foundation is that everybody can find their shade, because they have every skin tone and every undertone. Because I want to conceal and highlight at the same time, I'm now using the Laura Mercier concealer, and I'm also gonna dab a little bit of a warmer foundation on top of it later, because I want to make sure that I'm gonna cancel any kind of gray tones. Because I want the cheeks to look flushed and the skin to look very youthful, I'm now applying this liquid blush by Iconic London, and I'm spreading it with my setting brush by Real Techniques, making sure that the edges are very well blended before setting everything with powder. In order to keep the skin looking fresh but also sculpted, I'm now gonna bake a little bit using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in the shade Deep Peach. I'm first making sure that nothing creased under the eyes, because it usually does, and then I'm applying the powder using the Beauty Blender. And while the key areas are baking, I'm gonna set the rest of the face using a tiny bit of powder as well, and then I'm just gonna brush everything off. I decided I want a little bit more blush on the cheeks, so now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio, and I'm making sure that the edges are very well blended. In order to add a little bit more warmth to the skin and also sculpt it at the same time, I'm now using this bronzer by Benefit, and I'm applying it underneath the cheekbones, on the temples, on the hairline, on the nose and a little bit on the chin as well. For that dewy glossy glow, I'm now applying the Liquid Illuminator by Iconic London, and I'm spreading it with their brush on tops of cheekbones, nose bridge and on the inner corners as well. And this is basically the secret in order to achieve a glowing complexion without it looking greasy. Moving on to the eyes, as I said, I want a matte look to the eyes, so I'm starting by using this base by MAC and I'm spreading it all over the eyelids and on the lower lash line as well. I'm now using one of my favorite palettes. This is the Jackie Aina in collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I start by deepening out the outer corners of the eye. The next step is warming up the crease, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the lower lash line as well. In order to highlight the center of the eyelids, I'm gonna use this matte peachy shade. And to define the eye a little bit more, I'm gonna use this brown pencil only at the roots of the lashes, very close to her lash line. And I'm also going to set the pencil with a little bit of brown shadow in order to make sure that everything stays well put. This step also helps me in order to achieve that smudged effect because I don't want a very defined liner. And now moving on with brows, you know how important brows are for that lifting effect. I'm gonna brush them up with the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. Next step for brows is defining them by adding a few hair strokes using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen, and I don't know how I did this, but I managed to not record this part. This tiny little scene is literally everything I got recorded on my camera, so I'm so sorry for that. I'm giving the lips some definition by lining them with the Cork lip liner by MAC, and then I'm gonna apply this beautiful gloss by Iconic London all over the lips. And this is the final step. I'm applying the Huda Beauty mascara and I'm applying a lot of layers because I love my thick lashes. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you recreate it, don't forget to tag me on Instagram so that I can share your work on my story.